Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Fight CPS with Bob Pace, your host. This has been over 2 years since I've been doing this. I do this twice a day. I come on and I talk about the child protection system, what I call CPS, and help educate you about what to prepare and what to do and how to keep your children and how to get your children back. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father and a husband. I have 43 years of marriage and I've raised 6 children. And I have over 61 years of working in life skills that I can help you with. Now, normally I'm on during the weekdays at 10 a.m., on the weekends at 8 a.m. And then at nighttime, I have my second show, Fight CPS, Stop Taking Our Children. And that is on at 7 o'clock, 7 days a week. And there are times, though, that I may be on different times because of family commitments. But I do try to be here regularly. And I really do care about you guys. I have quite a group of followers, about 30 to 50 of you that come on here all the time. And the things that I've discussed or talked about has helped because I've heard back from my followers. And I'd like to offer the same thing if this is new to you. Now, what I call the child protection system is a government entity found in every state and countries worldwide. Now, in the United States, it was started about 62 when we started uh, protecting our children. Now, Congress made an act to direct Social Security to be responsible to form a group of professional social workers to take care of our children. They basically uh, supposed to protect them from neglect and abuse. Also, do what's called family reunification. That's where they help the families come back together when maybe that one of the family members, usually the mother or the father, has issues or problems of taking care of their children. Now, it's a difficult subject, and I know it's early in the morning on Saturday. It is October 4th, 2025. Today is a special day because one of my children is getting married. My son, who has the same name as me, who's 25, is marrying his lovely fiancee, and they are going to be married in a church. And they're embarking on a very, hopefully, wonderful journey, and that I hope it will prosper, and they will have children too. But I know from experience, they know about CPS, so they'll be better prepared when most of us don't know. We're caught off guard. We are caught off guard. CPS is really hard a lot of times to understand and to navigate. It isn't an easy thing when your family is disrupted, when there comes a knock at the door and you open the door because you do not know the laws about opening the door. are allowing people into your home. You see, as a small child, we're supposedly taught that we don't allow strangers in the home. And we should not answer the door because you never know. It could be an unsafe things. Our world is crazy today. People are shot right away opening the door. It's a bad thing out there. So CPS comes knocking, and when they knock, they usually are in attendance with law enforcement. Now, this law enforcement is supposed to protect the social workers, but instead, the social workers use them as intimidation. And it's not only one, but they come out in big groups. I don't think that helps anything, and they don't really know about CPS. That's one area they're not taught in law enforcement. So they're going to do things at the request of the CPS workers. Now, if this happens to you, and I want to welcome Perry Barrows. I will tell him congratulations, Perry. Thank you. And Perry, I need to put up a banner about doing text messaging. All I ask you is to put your name, which you did, but please show me your city, our county, and state you reside in. And if you're from another country, which there's 24 of you out there, please list me your country. Now, what I mean by country, this is international live stream. Anybody that has internet can pick it up. And so far, the people have either phone called in or text in have been from Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, then up to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Libya. Then to the continent of South Africa, I have Liberia and Sudan. And then Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and then South Africa and its provinces. Then up to Europe, I have the United Kingdom of England, Scotland, and Wales. And then I have Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond, North America, where I have Canada and its provinces. And then we go south in the United States, and I've had all 50 states make a request. South of the border, oh, back on the United States, I forgot to tell you, it's all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. And then south of the border, Mexico, then further south in South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast of Grenada. Then in the South Pacific, it's been New Zealand, and then the land down under Australia and its states. So that's quite a diversity of people. That's quite a diversity of people. And so, Perry, I'd love to help you with your CPS matter, whether you have a question or not. Not only do I talk about the child protection system, I also talk about the adult protection system. There are adults that are being taken care of in assisted living and in retirement homes and so forth. and parents and children are taking care of their parents. But what has happened is that a lot of times these adults are abused and neglected, so they are protected. Also, when a child turns 18, that child, um, if it's special needs, can be handled by adult protective services. So there's two different entities that protect people from abuse and neglect. From abuse and neglect. Also, since the child protection systems are part of social services, they're supposed to offer food and shelter and clothing and transportation, medical, educational, and even a job. That is all part of the child protection system. People are in desperate times and needs, and they need help and assistance. But anyway, starting from that knock, if you allow them to come in your home, they're going to search your home. Your home may not be presentable, it may be cluttered. You may have had a disaster where the refrigerator broke and you got old food sitting in the sink that you're trying to dispose of. Um, you may have things laying around that are not appropriate for children. So that's the risk you run of opening the door. You don't have to. You can tell them, you can, the basic thing is don't answer the door, don't make any sound. If they hear commotion going on, screaming or yelling, especially of children, fighting going on, it's like that, they're going to break in. They're going to come into your home. Now, if you happen to meet them outside in your yard, you can be courteous and nice to them, but ask them a very important question. Is this a legal matter? If it's a legal matter, you have the right to have an attorney present at all facets of this legal matter. That's your constitutional right. That's your constitutional right to have representation for legal matters. And it really is a very hard situation you're going through. Really hard. And I know the feeling because I too am a victim of CPS. Now, besides texting a message, you can also be a guest on my live stream. And to be a guest on my live stream, all you have to do is email me. It's Bob P at VincentWDavis.com. Bob P at VincentWDavis.com. And just tell me which particular shows. I have 14 of them you want to be on. Just say I want to be on Bob's Friday night show, or I want to be on Bob's Saturday morning show, or Friday, or whatever it is. You have to pick one show, and then you email it to me, and then in turn I will contact my show producer and have her send you a link to the software application I use called StreamYard. And StreamYard is what you see the format before you. The StreamYard uses YouTube to transmit my voice and face and so forth. It's an interactive live stream. You can do things like emojis. You can send me smiley faces. You can send me hearts. You can send me some thumbs up. Even send me stars. Now, below my banner about being a guest, I have another moving banner that talks about some of the fees that are very reasonable that can help you. We have um, a $10 chance for a private text reply from attorney Vincent Davis. We have a $15 chance for a private call from attorney Davis. And then we have a $25 to be a guest on a 30-minute live show with attorney Vincent Davis. All you do is you send it to Cash App, Apple Pay, or Zella, 310-308-7758. And you can have that opportunity to have a consultation with Mr. Davis. That is one way you can do that. Now, when you get this link from a producer to be a guest, you just paste in your browser, and if you get knocked off, you can paste it again. Now, it is a very difficult situation, so some of you may not want to talk, which is understandable. Good morning, Rocky. Rocky is from New York, and he is a regular on my show. He has a brother that was wrongfully accused by CPS in Virginia. So he tries to help out people in the room. And so I don't know the CPS worker that got stomped out in Perdskill, New York, but that's okay, Rocky. We're here to talk about your issues, your brother's issues. I really don't want to talk about politics or get involved. Fighting CPS is a whole different animal, and they are corrupt. Over 50% of CPS entities are corrupt. And I learned that from talking to over 2,700 people. 2,700 people that I've been talking to for the last 2 years, 24 months, twice a day, 14 times a week. And those people that have told me there's something they have in common. Their children were taken, and they've not had a chance to really have an attorney because they didn't know. See, they don't know when you get involved in CPS that you need to get an attorney hired. And many of the people, most of them, are low income. It's sad because it takes a lot of money to fight CPS. They're very corrupt and they have powerful attorneys. And it's an organization that is bankrolled by the trillions of dollars, not billion, not million, but trillions of dollars. For instance, when a child's taken into custody, the county gets $20,000 from the state. And by the way, the money goes from the federal government to the state, then to the county. So they get that 20,000. If you have 3 children, that's $60,000 the county will receive from the state for that child. That child is put into a shelter that's maintained by the county, or the child is put into a temporary custody with a family member, which is what you really want to do, or they're put into a group home or into foster care where it's an individual family takes the child in and provides hopefully a family setting. But foster care people are corrupt too. It's sad, but it's true. It's true. I mean, I've seen it now I've been fighting them for 15 years, ever since my case opened up, which opened up with a layperson reporting alleges that my wife and I were doing something to or wrong to our kids. When they hear someone report either from a layperson, which is your family member, your neighbor, the guy down the street, the guy at the store, they take it seriously and they believe it. The other kind of reporter is the professional, the doctor, the nurse that sees your child at the office, the school teacher that sees your child in the classroom, the administrator, the counselor. Then there are the caregivers that watch your children after school or before school. Um, they do it, they see it. They look for bruises, they look for red marks, and they look for a child that is disheveled, doesn't look clean, doesn't even have clothing, may look distraught or whatever. They look for those signs, and they supposedly are trained. They took classes professional. But statistics have shown me just the opposite. 50% of the time, professionals get it right. Lay people get it right 25% of the time. 25% of the time. And that is really tough. That's really, 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 really tough. Because you're dealing with a system that's supposed to do family reunification. That means when a family's broken apart, they're supposed to put it back together. And with that being said, they're supposed to uh, give parenting classes and programs and uh, aid for the family to regroup and get the family together. Now, a lot of the things don't seem to happen lately. They hear the complaint from whoever the person is, the lay person, the professional. They believe it, so you're guilty as charged. It's the only court of law that you're guilty. The other court of law, you're innocent till you're proven guilty. But here they take it serious enough that you're guilty. And when someone complains and makes some bad remarks, it is taken seriously. They have within 24 hours, they have to investigate it. That means they have to come out and talk to you, talk to the school, talk to the doctors, the nurses, the neighbors. They can talk to a lot of people to find out or indications that you may be a bad parent. But even still, studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents. So every attempt should be made to reunification. But in 1997, they passed the Incentive Act where the government gives an additional $35,000 to the county that adopts the children through foster care. That's right. It's incentive driven by money. As I told you, it's $20,000 for the child, 35 for one-time adoption. Even special needs children, they get additional $10,000 the county does from the state. All the money flows from the government to the state and from the state to the county. There's no accountability. It's really a very disheartening thing there. It happened, Rocky, in 1997, called the Incentive Act. And that's when Bill Clinton signed into law. But anyway, is there any further questions, Rocky, you may have about your brother in New York? I mean, in Virginia. I'm sorry, in Virginia. Also, Perry Barrows, how can I help you? How can I help you, Perry? Um, I don't know where you're from, Perry, but if you could tell me, that would be great. That'd be great. Now I'm going to put my phone number up, which means that you guys can call in. There's my number. It's 626 698 0990. That's direct line to my phone number. And I'll gladly take your call. I'll gladly take your call. And there's another number on the screen, 888-888-6582. That's the number of the law office of Vincent W. Davis. He was my attorney. He is available to be hired. Typically, he works out of Arcadia, is where his office is, and it's in LA County. And his typical retainer is $5,000. He's a $500 an hour attorney, but that is not dependent. That's dependent on the type of case you may have, the complexity, and the length the case has been going on when you determine the quoted price. So the price I'm giving you are ballpark prices. I've given quotes to Georgia, to Wisconsin for $125,000 for Vincent to come out and defend him. He does do other states, but it's a little bit more costly because he's got his air transportation, ground transportation, hotel accommodations, and food. Plus, he has to pay the license fee to do the law in that particular state. So that's where it comes a little bit more money in there. But he's a fighter. He's one of the best around. You won't be disappointed. You let him do his thing. Has helped a lot of people in my room. David Halago, Margaret King. There's a lot of them. I also have wonderful people like Christina Reynosa, Dorothy Cook, Betty Joe. These people are from around the country. Christina is from Las Vegas, Nevada. And Dorothy Cook is from North Carolina. Betty Joe is from Montana. I also have Faye Manley, a very strong woman from Richmond, Kentucky, that was my co-host. I have Daniel Watt from Georgia. This is my co-host. Each of these people. I have Felicia, which is called Cruel Do a Trick, and she's from Oxnard, and her case is in Ventura County. Anyway, I have lots of people that have called in and asked me to help them, and I have. There's no question about that. I'm glad to hear that you're appealing his conviction, Rocky. It must be a hard thing in the state of Virginia as a Commonwealth state. And if anybody knows anything about Commonwealth, it's not a good thing to have. It's not a good thing to have. Not only is Virginia a Commonwealth, but Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Kentucky. Now, Commonwealth means to reflect their historical democratic ideas and founders committed to governance for the common good rather than for a monarch. So, for instance, England had a monarch, a king. Now, supposedly there's no functional or legal difference between a Commonwealth state and a regular state. And the distinction is symbolic and rooted in the wording of the respective states' constitutions. Anyway, that's sort of a little bit of information about Commonwealth. This phone number I talked about, the 888-888-65, is that you can hire a real attorney, Vincent W. Davis, who was my attorney. He is licensed and educated and schooled in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, which are the three areas of law that you need to fight your CPS case. And he's also a trial attorney. He's been fighting CPS for 39 years and gotten back thousands of children. He is also a trial attorney. He can do trials. He's also a civil rights attorney because he's done lawsuits, civil lawsuits. When your case is done and your constitutional rights or civil rights were violated, he can sue CPS and win millions of dollars both in state court and federal court. Now, my social worker committed perjury in court where she lied and she was caught red handed with the lie. And so he's been very successful doing that. So he's the all one package there. So you can call there to hire him, just set up a consultation with him, or to get information about fighting CPS in forms of books and guides. He has lots of them. His news guide out is called The Grandparent Guide Step by Step of Adopting Your Grandchildren. It's for $9.99 and it's on sale if you use my promotion code of PACE, PACE, and it's all capital letters, and then the number 50. And you'll get 15% off that book. That's less than $5. Also, when you call in, you'll reach reception. Make sure you identify yourself that Bob Pace sent you. You tell him that. When you speak to Mr. Davis, make sure you tell him that Bob Pace sent you. It's important that he knows these things. Very, very important. I don't know what other questions you may have for me, Rocky or Perry Barrows or anybody else. I'm here. I'm open to questions because that's what's important. Is I take care of you. I'm waiting for someone to come back into the room. Right now, the room shows nobody in here. So I'm waiting for there. Uh, Rocky, if you're still around, um, what is it specifically that you're appealing with your brother in Virginia? What is it that you're appealing with your brother? And Perry Barrels, I need to know where you're from and how can I help you? This live stream is meant for all of you to interact. I'm here to help you. I really am, care about you. Um, I really wanted to. I'm not an attorney. I do this to help others not have to go through what I went through. There are 5 rules that I have come up with that will help you. That will help you. I'm glad we got some more people in the room here. It's a hard thing twice a day doing this for over 2 years. I try to make it different and I try to make it special. And I don't know too many other places where you get information for free. And it's good information. It's good information because I can relate the 2,700 people I've talked to, including my case and what worked and didn't work. And these 5 rules, real quickly, because I don't want to go in depth of them because I already have numerous times, are make sure you got the right attorney representing you. That attorney needs to be in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Also, you need to document everything. You get to keep track of what's said and not said. That's why I say it's important to create an incident log using 3 lines on a sheet of paper. The first line is the information about the call or the place you went to that the incident occurred. If it's a call, you put the date, the time, and the phone number. And then you put the people you talked to. If it's something that happened in person, you put the date and the time and the location and the people you talked to. That all goes the first line. The second line is a summary, a 1-sentence summary of what the instance is about. And then the third line is the outcome. And you need that info later on because your attorney or you will need that information. You won't remember it 6 months from now, a year from now. You got to at least expect the case to take about a year, at least a year. Because if you're in a program like domestic violence, it takes 52 weeks a year to complete the class. It's a class once a week, every month for 12 months. Anyway, document is so important. One thing you can do is start a journal and address your children in the journal so they will know what you went through, the goods, the bads, the ups, and the downs. Because right now you're not allowed to discuss the case with your children. But something may happen to you or things may go wrong or bad. They need to know. Children do love their biological family. They want so much to have a mother and father that they care about. It's a horrible, horrible experience to go through that. I think no one should go through. It's been really horrible on me. From the knock at the first door, that is so critical that you don't open the door or talk to them. You don't have to. By law, you don't have to. So be quiet and don't answer the door. But be prepared to get an attorney to represent you. And you need to follow up. They'll usually leave a business card and tell them to call them. Or if I said you met them outside, you need to tell them that your attorney will get back to them. That you need to talk to your attorney first. because they're let in the house, as I told you earlier. They'll do an inspection of your house. Your house may not be ready. Also, they'll attempt to take your child. It seems, typically speaking, that 50% of the child protection agencies are so corrupt, they automatically take your child, whether they're in danger or not in danger. My three children were taken and they weren't in danger. They were put into a shelter, which they didn't need to be put in a shelter. My children were not starving or hurting. They each had their own rooms. We lived in a beautiful forever home that I had to sell to hire Vincent Davis. I regret I let them in my home. I regret that I talked to them because everything you say will be used against you. I thought I could trust the government. I thought they worked for the people. But I guess I was disillusioned. It also happens to you at urgent care or the emergency room or when you're having a child at birth. It's called medical trafficking. So, CPS does trafficking where they take your children automatically into foster care. There's also medical trafficking where they hang out at urgent care or the emergency room and listen, and then they jump in to make assumptions. Like you're trying to do a medical decision, they think you have to do it. I had a parents on here not too long ago. I spent the whole week, every day of the show, they get them to save their child. They're able to get their child back. I was able to get them an attorney, but they didn't stop the needless um, surgery that had to be done on their child. The doctors made a misdiagnostic, and at the insistence of the social worker, they went ahead and did what didn't have to be done. Anyway, with the attorney I helped them get, and then down the road, they're going to win a big civil suit against the CPS entity. But money doesn't replace or bring back everything. That's the sad part. It doesn't bring back. Now, people are coming and drifting in and out of here, so today is one of those days that most people have other things on their mind. I really do care about you. I want to help you, and I want you to tell me what things are bugging you about your CPS case. Going back to that rule number 3 with the medical um, trafficking. You may be at the hospital having a baby, and they'll take your child right at birth. It's sad. They don't have the right to, but they make assumptions, especially, for instance, you tested positive with drugs in your system, which will hurt the baby. If you're doing drugs or something illegal, you need to stop from doing it when you have children. Children demand a full time parent, and your vices have to be restricted. Your vices have to be restricted. Rocky, when you say you're appealing your brother's conviction in the state of Virginia, what is the appeal based on? I'm trying to help you, Rocky. Perry Barrows, I appreciate you coming to the room, but I've not heard from you since. And people are coming and going. If you have a question, please ask me. I've been trying to do my format of show a little bit different every time. It's a hard subject to deal with. A lot of disappointments. A lot of disappointments. You know, fighting CPS is still a big problem in my life. They're still interfering with my life, even though my kids are returned. Well, some of my kids. I lost a child to do CPS, who the social worker retaliated, encouraged our child to divorce us parents, to change her name, to seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, and to be adopted into a foster care parents. Sometimes people are weak and they want to do things at the urgencies of others. And then there's retaliation. And I see families do it all the time. It's the worst thing to deal with, retaliation. Now, rule number 4 and 5 are really simple. 4 is just to use the internet wisely and carefully to research. Whether you use Google Chrome browser or Chat GPT, which is a really good AI resource that helps you find things. It's very important how you list what you're searching for. Start off with the city and the state, and then right after that, put the child protection system. And if you have a country, put the country after if you have a state, and then put the child protection system. And you'll see a lot of things come up. If you want to refine it furthermore, you put in the question you're trying to do. Like, say, you're trying to find a juvenile law, family law, dependency law attorney, or you want to know what ICWA, the 1978 Indian Child Welfare Act for American Indians, or maybe you want to file a 388 motion, or you have a 180 hearing or a 160 hearing, or what is dependency court? What is TPR, termination of parental rights? There's all these very tragic events that will happen during a CPS case. So you need to research the internet because you learn so much about CPS there. And lastly, you need to make copies of all your important documents, things like birth certificates, driver's license, marriage licenses, school records, those kinds of things. But I'm slowly getting to the end of my live stream here. It's 9 o'clock, and I do have to end my live stream. And I want to say thank you so much for listening and for coming back, you regulars in there. Thank you, Rocky from New York. And thank you, Perry Barros. I have no idea where you're from. For being in my part of my room in here, and also the visitors that came in this room. Now, I'm again on tonight. Um, I think it's 7 o'clock. I'm not too sure. But you'll check my notifications. But I want to help you with your case. I want to help you with your case. Um, Keep in mind that you do not ever want to forget to fight for your children or your family. Don't stop that. Come here for support. Now, there'll be a brief video at the end of my live stream when I sign off. Please watch it. This is Bob Pace on the West Coast of California. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you and have a beautiful day.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the
last ones left. Put your faith